Hi, and welcome back to Focal Point AFR Talk. Brian Fisher is my name. The program is Focal Point, the network AFR Talk. Number to call if you want to join the conversation, 888-589-8840, 888-589-8840. You know, we talked yesterday about the questions about Monte Teo, whether he is gay. He's the linebacker out of Notre Dame, and NFL teams want to know if he's a homosexual because they cannot afford to have that dynamic in the locker room. And everybody in the NFL now is all in a tizzy over this thing, and you've got everybody out there accusing people that believe in traditional moral standards of being homophobes and all that. And here is a prominent NFL prospect who's on a radio program. He's one of the guys that's at the Combine right now. And so these NFL teams, this guy's a linebacker from Colorado, I believe, these NFL teams are interviewing these guys. They do personality profiles and all that kind of stuff because they want to know if they got a head case on their hands. And he says they're starting to ask questions that I'm not sure. I mean, it sounds to me like it was unexpected to him. Maybe these are questions that haven't been asked before. Let's listen.
Did you get any weirdly personal questions?
Yeah, some they ask you, like, do you have a girlfriend? Are you married? Do you like girls? Those kinds of things. And you know, it was just kind of weird, but you know, they would ask you with a straight face, and it's a pretty weird experience altogether. Just the round robin kind of interviews that you do there.
By the way, Nick, for the record, what was your answer to the question, do you like girls?
I do. I love girls.
So they're asking about whether these guys are involved in the homosexual lifestyle. Now, there's a very simple reason, is they cannot have sexual tension in an NFL locker room. It's the same reason why homosexuality is going to destroy the military. You get that dynamic in there. I mean, there's a reason why we have women with separate shower facilities from men, except in Massachusetts, where now they're going to require schools to let boys use the girls' bathroom. If the poor guy is so deluded and so deceived that he thinks he's a girl trapped in a guy's body, they're going to force the school to let those boys use the girls' locker rooms and bathrooms. And if anybody complains, it's the student that complains about it that's going to get in trouble. Well, the NFL is not going to put up with that kind of nonsense. They know you get sexual tension in a locker room. It affects unit cohesion. That's an important part of success. You are a team. You need to function as a team. Guys have to be pulling together. You can't avoid divisive things coming into the locker room. And they know the kind of grenade-like explosion that'll go off in an NFL locker room. They can't afford to have that. So they're naturally concerned about that because they've got to be concerned about the same thing that the military does. They've got to be concerned about morale. They've got to be concerned about unit cohesion. They've got to be concerned about readiness. Are these guys ready to take the field? And they have to be concerned about retention. I mean, if an NFL team says, yeah, we're going to be completely okay with open gays in the locker room. We want to hire them. We want to recruit them. We'd love to find every gay football player in the United States of America and offer them the best contract we can. They know that other players are going to stay away from that team in droves. They won't be able to complete a roster. So they know that there are some very practical issues that they're going to have to deal with. Now, we were talking about the impact of Obamacare on Subway. The guy said, I couldn't start it today, and one of the main reasons is Obamacare. I couldn't start Subway today, not just because of regulations, but also because of Obamacare. That's the biggest concern that we've got. Now, and I've got a piece here featuring an interview, Washington Beacon, with Jack Welch and Warren Buffett. These guys are rich beyond our wildest dreams. And both of these guys, they're smart guys. They know how to run businesses and how to make money. They both agreed that Obamacare is going to slow down the economy. This is what Jack Welch said. I'm concerned that we got two big things coming at us. We got Dodd-Frank, which isn't out yet really, and we got Obamacare. And Obamacare, when you look at the complexities in that plan, healthcare costs are going to go up. Ask Donna Brazile about that. They're not going to go down. Here's Warren Buffett. Interesting thing is I agree with everything Jack has said. He's absolutely right about what's happening with healthcare and everything. I don't disagree with a word that he said. Now, here is Henry Alford. He's head of the Black Chamber of Commerce, clip 14, and he's talking about what it's like to be an African-American. He's black. He's the guy that went toe-to-toe with Barbara Boxer and accused her of insulting him, being condescending and patronizing to him. he got right up in her grill on that. This is a guy that doesn't take guff from anybody. And so he's being asked by Sean Hannity here, what's it like, you're head of the Black Chamber of Commerce, what's it like to be an African American, to be a black, and to be in business under this president? Here's what he had to say.
You look at the African American community voted for him 95+%. Huge numbers. When you look and break down demographics, it's the young people in this country that voted for him in a majority of numbers. African Americans, minorities that seem to be hurt the most by his policies.
Absolutely.
Why then would they vote for him?
And they even know it. Ben Jealous, the NAACP, admitted it on Meet the Press. We all know this misery, but it's something like, well, we got a bad guy in the family, but we're going to protect him because he's family. We got to wake up, slap ourselves and wake up. This is America, and everybody's involved in this. And if our children are hurting, it's our responsibility to find someone who understands that pain, feels it like Bill Clinton would say. This guy doesn't feel it.
Go ahead, sir. Finish your thought.
In fact, he issues a lot of that pain with a smile.
So Henry Alford saying, look, Bill Clinton would say, I feel your pain, and we'd get people to believe him. And he said, we need somebody that understands the pain of trying to grow a business under this guy with these policies in place. And this guy not only does not understand our pain, not only does he not feel our pain, he issues a lot of that pain. He's responsible for the pain. He is inflicting the pain on the American people. And we've wondered for some times whether, I wonder if Barack Obama has a soul. I mean, he seems to be soulless. He seems to be cold. He seems to be callous. He seems to be utterly indifferent. He seems to be almost pathologically narcissistic, completely wrapped up in himself. He seems to be cavalier about human life. You look at his response to the Benghazi thing, he didn't care. He didn't care, not one phone call the entire night. Didn't show any concern for Americans that were at risk because they were trying to serve him, and his administration could care less. And I've often thought that for Barack Obama, people aren't people to him. They're like avatars in some kind of video game. Like the whole thing for him is SimCity. And if you have an avatar that goes down, well, you're not going to lose any sleep over that. It's just pixels on a screen. And it's like that's how Barack Obama looks at the American people. So anyway, Henry Alford, black guy, telling the truth about what it's like to be a businessman under Barack Obama. Now, I want to grab a couple of other clips, if we can, media clips. Let's drop down to clip number 16, if we can. And what we're talking about here with this clip, this is Chuck Todd, is President Obama has not dismantled his campaign organization. He's transferred it into a political activist group. It's called Organizing for Action. Now, because he's not running for re-election, because this is not a campaign group, people can make unlimited donations to this Organizing for Action. And they don't even have to report. It's a 501c4, and they don't even have to report who their donors are. So people can donate millions and millions of dollars, and it goes completely unreported. I got no problem with that. We run similar organizations right here at AFA. But it's unlimited. And the Democrats are actually pretty upset with Obama because he's siphoning all this money into his own little organization. And this money now is not going into Democratic coffers. It's going into Barack Obama's coffers, into his political organization that's Organizing for Action. And it came out over the weekend that if you contributed $500,000 to Obama's coffers, you would get a private meeting with the President of the United States. You were buying access to the most powerful man in the world with a gift, a donation of $500,000. And this has not actually sat well, even with the media. Here's Chuck Todd, NBC, clip 16.
Finally, the New York Times reported over the weekend that donors who contribute and raise $500,000 for President Obama's Organizing for Action will get special access to the president. That's right, they're selling access to the president. The new group has an ambitious goal to raise $50 million to convert the president's reelection campaign into an advocacy network. And they're offering access. The New York Times says, quote, giving or raising $500,000 or more puts donors on a national advisory board for Mr. Obama's group and the privilege of attending quarterly meetings with the president, along with other meetings at the White House. Excuse us? This just looks bad. It looks like the White House is selling access.
This just looks bad. And well, Chuck, it looks bad because it is bad. I mean, it's one thing when you're contributing money to some guy's political action committee. That's fine. Nobody's got a problem with this. But you are talking here about selling access. This is bribery is all this is. It's bribery, selling access for $500,000. Now, here's Tamron Hall at MSNBC. And she likewise, clip 17, she likewise is not happy about this.
So is the White House going against a campaign promise and selling access to the president? That's a heck of a question. The New York Times is reporting that this weekend, Obama's backers seek big donors to press agenda. Those who contribute and raise $500,000 for the group Organizing for Action will get extra contact with the president.
So Tamron Hall, MSNBC, this is a problem, selling access. Jay Carney was asked about this, clip 18. And listen to him bob and weave as he tries to deal with this question about buying access to the president for $500,000.
On the broader issue of money in politics generally, the president has been very clear that we should be doing more to reduce the role of money in politics. The president and Democrats on Capitol Hill backed the Disclose Act that would close loopholes and bring more transparency to the political system, but it was blocked by Republicans. President Obama has also outlined additional concrete steps Congress should take to eliminate the corrosive influence of money in Washington, like holding Congress to the same conflict of interest standards as the executive branch and prohibiting lobbyists from bundling and bundlers from lobbying. The fact is there are a variety of rules governing interaction between administration officials and outside groups, and administration officials follow those rules. White House and administration officials will not be raising money for Organizing for Action, and while they may appear at appropriate OFA events in their official capacities, they will not be raising money.
So Jay Carney just reading off a prepared statement, meaning they know they've got a problem here. They've got a giant PR problem with selling access to the president. It smacks of a bribe, as Chuck Todd says. It just looks bad. And Chuck, it looks bad because it is. We'll take some phone calls coming right out of the break, right after the break, 888-589-8840. So Bill in Colleen, Texas, and Shay in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee, hang on. We'll get to you right after the break. Just hang on for 2 more minutes. Focal Point AFR Talk. Stay with us.